for joining the class today. We are going to have such a fantastic time today. I'm super excited. I had so much fun getting this class prepared. And a big thank you to Michaels and to the Dremel Tool Company. You guys have been absolutely wonderful. I'm just dealing with all of you guys. You are nothing short of just awesome. So thank you so much. Now, before we start, we're going to have a lot of fun today, but before we start, I want to give you a little bit about my background, because obviously you're going to be spending the hour with me, right? So let me tell you a little bit about myself. When my name got out there, it was on YouTube. I made one YouTube video and it kind of blew up, and that's what really accelerated things. And the YouTube video was my trade secret. I didn't want to give my trade secret away. And when I did, it just, from that multiplied. Everything that happened on my YouTube channel come from just one video. And from there, it just exploded. And it's just a humbling experience how that happened. And so what I'm really known for is my axe handles and my wood carving on my axe handles. And I want to show you guys something. It's funny the way this started. When I was younger, let me grab this right here. I had this hammer that I painted green, and I put my name on here. Now, my aunt 5 years ago, she found this. It came over to my house and said, "Matt, I found this. You were 8 when you did this." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't realize it." So, and I'm going somewhere with this story. So I did this when I was younger. And now, I got to thinking back, I said, how in the world did I start carving these axe handles? And now I'm doing this. So do you see the way these two things correlate? So I usually tell people, look at your childhood. There are indicators that will point you true north into the direction that you need to go with art or anything in life. A ton of successful people will tell you that. I have sit in some business classes that I have paid good money for, and they're like, look at your childhood. And so it's the same thing with art. So the reason I show you guys is to inspire you, is that I had no idea I would be doing this today, or be sitting here in front of a camera today, live streaming to all you guys, which is such an awesome experience. So look at your childhood and do not neglect the random thoughts that gallop through your head, so it's just a really cool experience for me. And a lot of people ask me how I got started. And that's one of the huge key pieces to the big story that I have. Just a small little key there. So, and I want to tell you guys that everyone has creativity. And this is what this class is about releasing that creativity on the inside of you. It's just a matter of discovering it for yourself. See, my medium for creativity didn't come through a paintbrush like a lot of you. Mine came through a Dremel tool. And it's so cool now that one of my favorite tool companies, now I get to partner with them. How cool is that? So what I'm telling you guys to get you inspired is to do not neglect what's naturally inside of you, your natural desires that you want to go and do. But go for it. Go for it with everything you have. So you just got to find your creative outlet, whatever that is. Find your creative outlet. Mine involves this pretty little tool right here. This is my thing. This is my thing right here. So I just want to inspire you guys, go after whatever you have inside of you, and you'll just find what you're called to, and you will excel at anything you do in life. And this is what this class, for me, this is what I hope it does for you, that it will awaken the creativity already inside of you. And what this project is today is not just about doing this pretty little sign behind me. It's about, we're going to do this project, but it's about awakening the other creative processes that you guys already have. So, and today what we're making is a catalyst for a million ideas. Take the info and the skills that you learn here and apply it to everything. These skills are transferable. And the last thing before we get started, you ready? Give yourself permission to make mistakes. Oh my gosh, I'm a recovering perfectionist. Give yourself permission to make mistakes. There's no mistakes, just wrong and right ways of doing anything. And Joseph, my tech guy behind the camera, sent me this quote from Bob Ross. And oh my gosh, I love this thing. It says, talent is a pursued interest. Anything that you're willing to practice, you can do. Bob Ross. Isn't that amazing? Talent's a pursued interest. So, okay, are you guys ready? We're going to jump all into this. And here's the thing, before we start, we are going to be moving at a very fast pace because we have an hour to do this project with. So I'm going to be running along, and Jen and some of the other girls in the chat are going to be helping you with, if you have any questions, they will be answering them in the chat. So here's what I want you to do before we start. Put in the chat room your first name and where you are joining from. We want to know where you are joining us from. So we would like to see that. So Also, you can follow along with me. This will be a recorded video that will be on Michael's YouTube within 24 hours. So you can go back and rewatch it if you get stuck at a certain point, all right? So if you guys are ready, I am ready. And the last thing I do want to add, I did skip over in my notes here, is that you have a creative spin that no one else can replicate. Your uniqueness is what sets you apart from the crowd. You can take what we're going to do here and put your own unique vibe to it, and that's what makes you you. That's how your tribe finds you, if that makes sense. Like, your uniqueness is required for this. So you guys can replicate what I do, but feel free to go off and use your own imagination. So without further ado, let's get started. We are going to go over a few safety precautions here. Before we start, the first thing that we need is some safety glasses. I'm a huge fan of fog-proof safety glasses. I will be wearing this throughout today's live stream. So anytime you carve, be sure to have safety glasses on. Also, the piece of wood that we are going to be using, you want to clamp down to a table. Now, I will not be clamping this down because I will be moving around a lot and teaching you guys. And the next thing we need is a dust mask. We're not going to produce a lot of dust in this, but it's always best to take precautions. And again, I'm doing this in a studio here, so I will not be wearing a dust mask because I am teaching you guys. So there we go. And if you guys need to move outside with it if you're able to do so, but just kind of watch the dust that gets around. Don't get it around any electronics or anything like that. So like my camera equipment here. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start the project now. Now, all the supplies that are involved, we need a piece of wood. I'm using a 12 by 24, and I'm going to show you the other side of this in just a second, but this is a 12 by 24 piece. And we need a stencil letter pack, and the one that we are using is from Michael's. They do have all your art supplies and everything that you need. This is the Craft Smart Broadway alphabet stencils. And the words that we are using is behind me. We are going to be using the word movies. Now, feel free to add your name, add something else, but this right here just has a cool vibe to it. And the other things that we do need is some paint, which I have here. I'm not going to bring it to the camera. We need a glue gun. I know you can see me all the way back here. So the glue gun, paint brushes, and I am going to be attaching some string lights to this. This is also available at Michael's. And the bit I am going to be using is the Dremel 9905 bit. And you can see it right here in the camera. And I find this is one of my favorite bits to use by Dremel. This is going to be perfect, all right? So, and I'm trying to see if I'm leaving out anything, girls, you can put in the chat if I'm leaving anything out. Also, I'm not sure if this one's mentioned, I am going to be using a bit of sandpaper for a little bit of this after we get through carving. So get you some 120 grit, 220 grit, and you can just follow along with me there. So, okay, the first thing that we are going to do is to stencil our letters. Now, if you look right here, Joseph is going to go to the top-down view. As we go through right here, you can already see that I have my last four of my letters already on here. Now, if you watch the way I did this, I lined everything up, and I'll explain the tape in just a second. That is for some paint. The way I did this is I aligned all my letters up, and you can use a ruler to measure, but this is not quite 12 inches across. So I just kind of just eyeballed it here. If you guys want to get really precise and measure, that is all right. So what I did here is I lined everything up, and I'm going to show you the trick to applying the stencil, and I need you to pay attention to me here, all right? I'm going to save you a lot of headache. I'm taking some painter's tape. I'm going to grab a piece, and watch this. I'm going to bump it up next to the letters. I'm going to go just like this. See how I'm holding this down, and I'm making sure the tape is applied to the top of there. I'm going to take the other piece of tape, and watch this. Here's the secret. Take your stencil, push your thumb, and push it all the way to the bottom, get all the air pockets out of there. And there we go. Now we have one more stencil to apply. Now the M is a little bit different because you can see that it's not top down, it's to the side. So we are going to just line that up by looking right here. And we are going to do the same thing. And I'm going fast here. If you have any questions, top it on in the chat room, and the girls will get to you there. So we're going to go just like that, and this should be pretty good. This should hold it in place. Now, the next thing that we are going to do is to get our red paint. Now, feel free to use any paint that you want, but we are going to be using red and black paint. So let me get this here and get a sip of water. And the paint that I am using is the Folk Art, let's see, multi-surface paint, and this is the apple red, and I did get this from Michael's. If you guys go pick this up, be sure to use your 20% off coupon. You will get it for cheaper. So here's the way we're going to do this, and we're going to blaze through this process because we still have to carve. I'm going to take my tray here and put it right down here and put some paint in it. And Joseph over there is doing a good job at keeping everything lined out with the cameras. So here's what I'm going to do, and I want you to listen to the process here. This is where it can get tedious at. I'm going to move this over just a tad bit. I'm going to get some paint on here. Okay, now watch this. When I do these letters, you see the way I'm pressing this down right here? If I don't, my paintbrush can scoot up underneath there. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this, and the grain of the wood is running this way, all right? Now, we won't always be able to paint with the grain of the wood. Some parts we're going to have to go up and down against the grain of the wood, just like this. Be sure to put your fingers down here, hold the stencil down, and when you move to the other side, put your hands down just like that, your fingers down, and press the stencil against the piece of wood. Now we're going to do this for the entire piece right here along all the stenciled letters. And here's a little secret. I want you guys to listen up here. When you do this, after you're through, look, you want to go against the grain of the wood and get all the excess paint off, because I just smothered this entire thing with paint. Now, if we were not on a time schedule, I would take my time a little bit more and make sure this is a little bit nicer. So now we're just going to go through the entire piece right here. And I'm going to just blaze through this. If we make a mistake, that is all right. We can always fix the mistakes, especially on this project. So just watch how I'm putting my finger down there. Now, while you're waiting and watching me, if you guys aren't working and doing this yourselves, go ahead and ask a few questions in the chat and tell us what project you are going to work on this year. We would like to see it, because Michael's is going to be doing some more classes, and we would love some more ideas. So tell us what you guys would like to see. We would like to hear it. You see what I'm doing with my fingers here? I'm at an awkward angle to get this, and I'm going to get paint all over me. It's part of it. I'm going against the grain of the wood, but it's all right. I'm holding these stencils down in case my paintbrush gets up under the stencil, which is all right. Now, there is other ways to do this. I'm choosing this way because it's the easiest and fastest for the class here. But you can do this any way you want. There's no right or wrong ways. So I'm going to go back through here over the other letters and make sure everything's nice and brushed up. Now we're going to do this one. And when I hold one piece down, I'm going to go along top down, just like this, back and forth, and then go with the grain of the wood. And like right here is a hard spot to get. You see the corner right here? You see the white spot? We just want to take it and dab it. Other times, just hold the stencils down. There we go. And this is pretty fast drying paint. I'm going to move it over just a little bit. And do the same thing to the E here. Let's go ahead and do this side. I found on my previous project of doing this, the E was the most difficult. So I'm going to go like this.
Hey, Matt, we've got a question from Nicole. She wants to know, what do you mean when you say the grain of the wood?
Okay, every piece of wood has grain structure, and the grain structure runs like, you can see right here, the camera may not be picking it up, but you see the grain structure. This is running this way. Now I'm painting sometimes this way, which goes across the grain, and it creates rough spots. So yeah, Joseph has brought me this piece of pine. Do you see the grain, the way it's running this way? if I put it this way, the grain of the wood's running this way now. If we paint against this grain, it's going to create rough spots and it's not going to look as smooth. So after we paint against the grain, we want to paint with the grain. That's going to smooth everything out. It's kind of like you're flowing with the stream, if that makes sense. Okay, we have one letter here to do, and we got to hurry up and get to our next part here. And Jen, if there's any more questions, let me know.
Will do.
Okay, now we're getting this last part in here. I'm kind of breaking my own rules. I'm not getting over here and pressing down, but we're trying to hurry here. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to do this extra part. You guys can do this if you like. Now, if you see in the background, if you look in the background here, you can see the racing stripes. On the picture for the Michael's class, we did not have the racing stripes, but we are going to do that because I want to show you guys just how to add an extra flair to it. So now we are going to take the red paint and look here. We're going to go top down again. And I may get a little messy right here, and it's all right. Since we are rushing, I can make this look a little bit better. And it's all right. We're just going to slop it on here. I'm already getting paint everywhere. A bigger brush might be a little bit better. But remember, we can always come back and correct the mistakes.
Allie wants to know, how long do you think this would normally take if you're not rushing?
If I'm not rushing, for the first time, the one in the background you saw a while ago took me right at 2.5 hours, but that's because I was being a little meticulous with it. And it was my first time doing it. If I do this project, if I was just messing around, it'd probably take me around 2 hours, you know. But since I'm talking at the same time, it's costing me a little bit more time. But, you know, after you do something once, you will be able to do it again the second time. Now, if I were to do about 10 of these, I could probably fly through this in about 30 minutes, I bet. But it's just, you know, since this project is even new to me, I've done projects like it. It does require a little bit more time. Even if you do have an experienced skill level, sometimes it's a little bit more because I do work with paints a lot, but when it comes to painting, this is not my strong suit. So I know a lot of you are probably watching me and wondering, why are you doing it that way? But there's definitely some more experienced painters than I am out there, but we're just making it work here. So we're almost done with this. You guys, pardon my mess. I think I got paint all over my table, which is all right. So we're almost done. Let me get the side here. Now, I'm about to pull. Well, I'm going to wait to pull the tape off. I'm going to let this dry just a little bit. That is looking pretty good. Now, let's go back to the front-facing camera. I'm going to take a napkin, which these are shop towels. I highly recommend you guys get some of these. I got these from Harbor Freight. What I'm going to do is just kind of wipe up my mess that I made, and this will be able to be cleaned off later, excuse me. So I'm just going to go along the edges of the board, and you can go ahead and go to the top-down view again, Joseph. I'm going to go along the edges of the board, go like that, and just touch up the areas that I missed, which we can do at a later time. Now, while we wait on this to dry for a minute, this is pretty fast drying paint. I want to explain something to you with the Dremel tool. I have the Dremel 9905 bit in this, or excuse me, 9906. Is that right? Did I say that right? 9905. I was right the first time, the 9905 bit. And we are going to trace out the letters around now. We painted, now we are going to trace after this dries in just a second. And after we trace the letters, we are going to go over it with some black paint and around the letters, around where we carved at. Now, we could have carved this first, then painted. But remember, if we make a mistake, which we will cover when we start carving, we can always come back and correct mistakes. And if you aren't making mistakes, you aren't doing it right. No one ever, if you do not make mistakes, no one ever learns by doing things right. The best times that I've learned was the problems that I got wrong. And then I was able to come back and learn the right way to do it. So we are going to go ahead. This is not completely dry, which is all right. We are going to take off the tape here. So let me dry my hands just right fast and get some of the red paint off there because I don't want to mess this up. So if we did this right, watch this. Boom, there we go. Now, if you look, I didn't follow my own rule there. You see that close in? See that right there? That is all right. We're not worried about that. We don't need to worry about that because we can take care of it. We are going to go to the O now. And a few of these may be doing the same. Since I'll rush through that, you see that? That's all right. That will be taken care of. And go ahead and pull these off. My other project I did that you seen in the background was a little bit better. It didn't bleed as much. But like I said, I'm glad that we have some mistakes on here because I want to show you guys how to correct them. Like we have a huge bleed spot right here, which is totally fixable since we're going to be carving around this. So I am going to, I'm going to leave the, let's see if this is, I'm going to go ahead and wipe this and pull the tape off the front here. Thank you guys for hanging with me because I know this is a little tedious since we're rushing here. So, but look how cool this looks. I'm going to hold this up in just a second. If I can find my tape. There we go. Let me hold this up here. Look, how cool is that? Minus the little areas the bleed over happened in, but we're going to take care of that right now. So what we are going to do is to take our Dremel tool, and here's where you want to get your dust mask out and your glasses, which I will be wearing mine. Always wear glasses when you carve, and be sure to dry your hands because you're going to get red paint like that, which is all right. We can take that off with some sandpaper. Now, we can carve through this right here and correct our mistakes with the Dremel tool. But I'm going to take a piece of sandpaper just to show you two ways to do this. Watch this. I'm going to go right here. It's still a little wet, but you see how it's disappearing there? We want to wait till this is a little bit drier before we do this, and that would come right off. So we have this option to do it this way. You see how it's rubbing right off. And that's fine. We can just go through here right quick and get everything off. And when you sand, see what I just did? I got some more paint on there. So what we want to do, we can just take this and sand it against the grain of the wood and then with the grain of the wood. And I'll correct this in just a second after it dries. So now, and you see how I'm continuing to get paint on there? Get me a fresh towel, would you, Joseph? 1 second. Thank you. And that is totally correctable. We'll sand it off in just a little bit, and we have black paint to cover that up with, so it's no biggie at all. So after we do that, we want to take our Dremel tool, and we're going to go around the letters. And here is where we are going to spend our most time at, is carving this, all right? So what we want to do, we're going to turn this on, and a lot of people ask me, what RPMs do you run at? So I tend to run at, on this one, it goes up to 4. That, I'm going to run 1 underneath there. Typically, you want to run as fast as you can, depending on the type of wood you have. I'm using birch ply right now, which is pretty soft. And we want to run at the high speed without burning the wood, like I said. So I'm going to run right underneath 4. And the way we're going to start this is like this. I'm going to turn the piece of board to the side, and I'm going to show you how to get rid of all that in just a second. And what we want to do is, now guys, catch what I'm teaching you here. Here's where a lot of people go wrong with the Dremel tool. When they go, they just try to just follow the lines. No, go ahead and follow the lines, but you want to pull it kind of to your left. You see my body's back here, so I'm pulling to the left. That burr is spinning to the right, and it's putting against the grain of the wood. Now, if I were to go to the right, I'd get a run, and it would go like this. Let me show you. I'm going to pull against me to the left. Just like that. Now you want to clinch up on here and be sure you have your clamp on here, all right? Just like that. Do you see how clean this is? And don't worry about the little fuzzies part. We are going to fix that. And I do see a question in the chat I do want to address. Is how do you change the Dremel bit? And I need to show you guys that because I did miss this. So on the front of the Dremel Lite, we have a lock button, all right? So we're going to press it, lock it in place, and you have a provided wrench right here. We are going to take this and loosen it up, and we can pull it right out.
You need to hold the button.
Yeah, and you need to hold the button too. Good thinking, Joseph. Joseph's got my back over there. So I'm going to take it. I'm going to tighten it by hand and pull it up just a hair, just about like that. We don't want it too far out because the bit will start going just like this. So we want to take this and put it right about there. Now we're going to take this, tighten it up, and there we go. So now we're going to go back to carving here on the M. You see how I did this right here? You just want to keep a steady hand and pull it towards you. Now here's a trick. You can take and go the other way and smooth everything out. So what we want to do is take this and try to keep this pulling towards us and back to the left. There we go. I'm going to move this board around a little bit. And just go around the corners. Just like this. As long as I'm pulling to the left and kind of towards me. Almost in the 6 o'clock position. This is where you get the best burr cut at. And when you come to a corner, watch this. When you come to a corner, I'm going to flip this around the other way. I'm going to go to the right this time. I'm going to take a few passes, but do you see how clean that cut is? Now I'm going to make a straight line. Now I'm going to do it again. Now I'm going to go to the right now and smooth it all out. You see this area right here? This all messed up? What's this? Now we fixed it. I'll flip this around. And when you come to a corner, watch how I do this corner. See? Looky there. And while we are here, I still have to carve the rest of this. I'm going to take a piece of sandpaper. I'm going to do this a few different times. I'm going to take a piece of sandpaper. And watch. All the red paint that I messed up and spread everywhere, you see it's gone now with a piece of sandpaper. That is how you clean your edges up. On here, I'm going to do this too. Perfect.
We've got a question from the audience. Someone wants to know, can you use any wood or does hard/soft wood work better with the Dremel?
Soft wood always works better with a Dremel tool. When you go into hardwood, you're going to hit hard grains of wood. The grain structure really matters. And with a Dremel tool, when you have a rotary burr spinning, using a harder grain wood is pretty difficult. Even myself, I stick with softer grain wood, but I mean, you can, there's a lot of people out there that do, but for the most power carvers, I would say 95% of them uses soft wood. Now, while we are here, I am going to have to power through this because we have a little bit of time left. So I'm going to go ahead. There may be some dead space here while I'm carving, but take the same principles I just told you about, the pull left and kind of back towards you and to the right to smooth it out. Take those principles and apply them to the rest of these letters. And one more thing about pressure. Let the burr do the work for you, or the bit, burr, bit, they're the same thing. Let the bit do the work for you, all right? And if you get a lot of divots in there, that's all right, because we're going to come back and we are going to sand it. We're going to sand the sides of it. So I'm going to go through this and carve the whole thing and get after it. So, and if you would like to ask Jen any questions, she will have the queue in the chat there. And here in a little bit, we can take the best ones and answer them. But for the time being, we got to get to this. So I'm going to go ahead and carve this, and you guys can watch me and really really catch what I can teach you something, you can get it, but if you catch what I'm teaching you, it will stay with you. So catch what I'm teaching you here, because this skill applies to all kinds of different carvings. So here we go. This Dremel bit has just eaten through the entire piece of board. You see, I hit a tough piece of grain here and it made a divot in my burr hop. That's all right. You want to go back over it and just smooth it out, letting the burr do the work for you. And see this, you want to get a good depth right here. Not too deep, but just decent. Hey Joseph, could you take my paint here, wash it out in the sink, and wash my paintbrush out, please? Okay, do you guys see the fuzzies right here all over this? Don't worry about this. This is normal. We are going to come back with some sandpaper and fix it. So we're going to go through here. We're about halfway done. You see where I'm having trouble right here? That's because the grain structure of the wood is strong. Just go to your right and smooth it out. Just like this. We're going to have to sand in that hole right there because it made a mess right there, which is totally normal. Okay, good deal. We're getting somewhere now. Now watch how I correct this mistake. Completely gone.
Hey, Matt, is there a certain technique for going around curves like the O and the S?
When I go around curves, good question, whoever asked that. When I go around curves, I'm going to go to the right sometimes. Every once in a while, I'll go to the left, but I just want to kind of feather around the curves, just like this, especially if you're starting out. Let me show you this. Feather. There you go. Feather around. You may see me just go around it. That's because I have hundreds of hours into carving and stuff, but you just want to feather around just like this. Sometimes I'll go to the right, sometimes I'll go to the left. So just feather around. Practice makes perfect. So notice how I'm pulling this towards me. That's how I'm getting that clean of a cut. Most people can't get clean cuts because they're over here pulling this in this weird direction. You want to pull it towards you. All right. Okay, we're almost there. I'm going to go ahead and finish this up real fast. Hey, Joseph, can you get my black paint and get it over here?
Hopefully one will cover their paint up, not on carbon.
Oh, thank you. Watch the E right here. I'm going to correct the mistake. Looky there. See, when it catches like that, I hit a hard piece of wood or a hard green. Be careful around your E. This is where it can get a little tedious at.
Hey, Matt, what types of bits would you recommend for larger surfaces?
Bits I recommend for larger surfaces. It escapes me the large bit that I have, but Joseph, why don't you switch to the top camera and bring me my burr holder right up there. He's doing a good job. He's running around everywhere. So if I were to do a larger surface, there are a variety of different burrs, and the one that I see right here, see that one? And comparison, you see how big that is? I'll do that for a larger surface. Now, technically, for this big of a piece, I would be using a router. You can still do it with a rotary tool like this, but if I were using a flex shaft unit, which you guys, if you watch my YouTube, you know I'm a huge fan of flex shafts, that would have a little bit more power than this, which right now I don't need a lot of power. This is perfect for this project. But if you wanted to get really precise, you'd want to use a router bit. But for larger projects, a round carbide burr, just like that. And I'll
drop the link to that one.
Say that again?
I'll drop the link to that accessory as well as some information about the routers.
Thank you. I have to get through. Let me carve the rest of this E and S because we have to move on here. So I'm going to just power through this real fast, and we're going to move into the next section. See that? That's a perfect cut I just did. That has a lot to do with the grain direction because I'm carving with the grain of the wood right now. Go to the edge, the corner, feather it in. See that? It's hitting a hard grain of wood. Hard grain. And we're going to go to the S. Almost fixed. I'm going to take a piece of sandpaper to that one part right there. I could get cleaner cuts if I took my time, but that's all right. Almost done. Okay. I'm going to call that quits. Let's go to the front camera. I'm going to call that quits. This is looking pretty good. But if you look, we have a bunch of fuzzies, and don't worry about the paint up here. We are going to fix that. But we have a bunch of fuzzy stuff around the letters. And while I'm here at this camera angle, I do need to explain to you something. We could have carved this one of three ways. The first way we just did is that we just lightly scored around the letters. just to make a little bit of depth and give a little bit of dimension to those letters. Now, we could have taken this burr and carved out the entire lettering inside and made a negative relief. Or we could have took the rest of this sign right here and carved all the white space in this board and made that negative space and made the letters pop out like this. It's called positive relief and negative relief carving. But for the project that we're working on now, we are just going around the edges. This is what I recommend for beginners to really get a handle over what you are doing, because the skills that you are learning to carve letters is one of the best skills that you can acquire, because they will apply to all kinds of different types of carvings. So this is what we did here. We just went around the letters here. And I'm going to give you guys a secret, and most people, they don't listen to me. I'm telling you, this is the biggest secret. I'm going to show you how to clean this up. I already told you, but I'm going to show you again. And that is with sandpaper. Sandpaper and Dremel carving goes hand in hand. All right. We're going to have to go around the edges with a piece of sandpaper. I'm going to make this real fast. So let's go here and remove the paint right here. And not to worry, the black paint will cover up anything that I miss. See that coming off there? The black paint will correct that, all right? So I just want to show you guys how to do that. I'm going to leave that there, come back to it, but I'm going to start with the S. You see all this nastiness around there? I cannot stand it. You have to clean your carvings up after you get through. So what I'm going to take a piece of sandpaper. I'm going to turn it just like this. I'm put it in that divot we just carved. And watch this. I'm going to kind of hold it at an angle. I don't want to lose the definition of the cut, but I'm going to go just around the piece just like this. And look at what happens. It's cleaning it up. Now, in a perfect world, I would have not painted this. I would have carved it first, sanded the entire thing, and then painted it. But the way we did it this round right here, there's nothing wrong with it. Just adds one extra step, but it's a little bit faster. We're going to just go around the edges and just clean everything up. Now, if I had more time, I would go around a lot more and get this thing looking awesome. So, and also when it comes to the inside of the letter, you know how I showed you to go on the outside bevel of where we carved? Watch this. Go on the inside now. Carve kind of against the paint right there. And remember, we can always repaint this. On the sign that was behind me from earlier, I repainted it. So I'm going to go through here real fast. And at this point, Jen, if you have any questions for me, you can go ahead and let me know. But I want you guys to catch what I'm doing here. You see this nastiness right here? Go through here. Look what just happened. And you can sand with the grain of the wood to clean it up too after you sand against the grain of the wood. You're covering up scratches with finer scratches. So any questions, I will be free to answer right now before we apply the black paint.
We've got a question from Edmund. See, any chance for a follow-up workshop in the future, such as showing the use of the plunge router?
That would be something that would be very interesting to do. I won't say yes and I won't say no, but you know, anything can happen. So I'll tell you this, I have used a plunge router and I really like it. I've been meaning to make a video over it on my YouTube channel, but I haven't got around to it. But I definitely say it could be possible.
Yes, Sam said, considering the time restraints, this is working out quite nicely. Everyone take your time, and if you have a small piece of wood, it's extra to practice.
Definitely, definitely. And this is part of the art, guys. It takes time. You know, what I'm doing here, it's not perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. The art doesn't have perfection. But we can spend as much time on this as we want and get it to looking as good as we want. But in the end, it's a handmade product. And that's the beauty of it. A machine didn't make this. I sit here in front of a bunch of people with a Dremel tool and I carve this. And that's something that's quality that you don't get. That is a level of just satisfaction that you can't get at buying it at a store. And yeah, handmade is some of my favorite stuff to buy. I love supporting creators. And so now I'm getting carried away here. I need to move on. but let me just hit this M. If you guys are watching here, do you see how this is cleaning up the edge nicely? You see on the O right here? That's all right. We can go over and paint that again and clean it up. So you always, this probably needs a second coat anyway after I get through, which I don't know if I'm going to have the time to do. But let me go ahead and clean up this. And we have to move on to the black paint. But I hope you guys are paying attention to what I'm doing here with the sandpaper. You have to do this. Most people skip this step and they leave just this fuzzy stuff everywhere. And you see here, I'm going against kind of, I'm turning this in. I'm getting this bevel, and I'm getting this bevel.
Matt, what have been some of your favorite projects that you've made?
Some of my favorite projects that I have made. Well, you know, you saw my tomahawks earlier. That's my absolute favorite things to do. But one of my favorite ones that I have made, Joseph, grab me that that little mini axe up there, would you? On the shelf, please. Yeah, up in the second shelf right there. To the right, to the right. Yeah, behind all that stuff. So Joseph's getting it for me. I'll go ahead and show you on camera quick. It's a little mini axe. You see it? Okay, there it is. This is one of my favorite little projects that I made right here, hands down. This is a piece of basswood. And so this is a dwarven axe. I took just inspiration from some different places. And I have a video on this of how to faux metal. This right here is actually called rub and buff. I could have done that with paint, but this is, yes, oh yeah, perfect. It's how to turn wood to metal. And so this is a piece I bought. I think I bought this from Michael's actually. And then I put one side on it and made it look like it's metal. So I do have that video, which is an awesome skill. We could be so creative with this and make this sign look like metal if we wanted to. So really cool stuff. And you can kind of see the Celtic designs in there. So this is one of my favorite pieces right there. Let me finish this M up, guys. We got to get moving along. So now we are going to go to the paint here. We're going to go against the wood, then with the wood. Watch what happened. There we go. So going to go against the wood, with the wood, and kind of alternate. But always finish up when you're standing with the grain of the wood. When you're against the grain of the wood, you'll feel it get a lot rougher. Okay, this is starting to look pretty good. We still have some fuzzy stuff left over. I could get some of this fuzz stuff out of here that was left over from the Dremel, but we do not have time to do that. So if you do reference my other, let me grab it here, keep the camera there, Joseph. If you do reference my other one, I cleaned that up pretty good for what it was. So just take your time with it. And like I said, you can spend as much time as you want on it. There's something I'll do right now. Excuse me. Sorry for the sound there. My sign fell. Sorry about that, guys. So what I want to do, I'm going to grab a piece of leather here. And I'm going to go over the top of it. Now, you don't have to do this. This is just a trade secret. Take a piece of leather. I want to use sandpaper. I'm going to go over the top of it. I'm getting some of that fuzzy stuff off the top that got carved where the fuzzy come up where I was carving this, but the sandpaper didn't get. I would do this with sandpaper, but it would remove a lot of my paint, which I do not want. So I'm just going to take this piece of leather. This raw cowhide is actually from a bracelet. I'll turn it over. Just go like this. And this is just an extra tip. They won't teach you this in the carving class. This is just stuff you pick up over time. So I keep this piece of leather around and use it. And watch how those letters straight. You seeing how everything's cleaner? Because when you do this, the letters are straightening out. I learned this technique about 6 years ago to clean everything up. So just go with it, just like this. There we go. I do want to hit this before we go to the black sandpaper, or excuse me, the black paint. Let me hit around this S right here. And sometimes you will find this side of the wood has a little bit more divots in it, a little bit harder grain structure at this side. So it requires a little bit more work. Now I could do this. I would carve this whole thing again, but I'm not going to do that. Let me get this little bit of paint out and then we are ready to go. Now, Jen, do you have any questions for me? Any thing coming in at this point?
Anybody have any questions they'd like to ask?
Pardon the noise here. I am going to use a dust blower. So just 1 second. I am going to take this and blow everything off. Sorry, Joseph. I'm getting dust all over him. Hey. Okay. Now, let's take a look at what we have. Are you ready? That was a big improvement over earlier, wasn't it? Now, there's some harder, right here where the S is. There's some little divots I can work out, but we do not have time to do that. So we are going to move on to the black paint, and we are going to have to power through this. Do you girls have any questions right now?
Chris
before
just
we do
asked,
this?
where'd you get the dust blower and how often do you use it?
I use it all the time. It's made for computers, but I use it for all kinds of different projects. I got this one on Amazon. It's called, excuse me if I can't pronounce this, Opolar, or at least that's how I say it with my country accent. So this next part, we are going to be taking a huge paintbrush. We are going to run over a little over time, but I am going to take this piece of cardboard because I'm about to get really messy and put it over here. Just like this. Okay, and now comes the fun part. We are going to apply black paint. And since I am rushing on this, I may make a mistake, but it's all right. So I'm going to turn this sideways and start from this end right here. So what we want to do, I am using multi-surface satin acrylic paint, just like the other ones. This one was from Michael's. It applies to this wood very easily. So what we want to do, I'm just going to take this off. I got a big paintbrush right here. This is the 1-inch Simply Simmons from Michael's. I think this is around $4 or something. Really good paintbrush. So what you want to do when you do this paintbrush, when you put it in just like this, I'm going to stick it in here. I'm going to go like this, get the sides. We want to prime this. Watch this. I'm going to go here and I'm going to prime it first. Okay. Kind of get the bristles and everything working together. And what I'm going to do to edge this, I normally would put a piece of tape down, but I'm going to go here and let me pull this. And I'm working at an awkward angle here, guys. I hope I can do this right. So we're going to just edge this. I'm a little shaky. This may not be 100%, but I'm getting a pretty good, you see I'm doing that. I'm fanning this out and going down just like this to edge this. This is where most of the time it's taken up right here, is edging this and going around the letters. Just like this. I'm gonna go ahead and edge this all the way down, then we are about to just slop a lot of black paint on here.
What are some other ways they could customize this project?
Oh my gosh, we don't have time to cover that. We could do all kinds of different carvings on here. I'll talk about putting stars on the bottom of here, putting some blue in here. Blue really complements black and red. You know, you get your American flag colors that way. And you could experiment with all kinds of different stuff. Even a hint of yellow on here would be good. You could even mix some of the letters up and put night down here, you know. And technically, if you guys aren't comfortable with the Dremel yet, and you can kind of see, I'm getting a little black paint right there. That's all right. You could just paint this instead of engraving around it. But I love engraving, you know, the Dremel tool. That is one of the best parts about doing this, is because it gives you the feeling that it's even more, that much more handmade, you know. So I know I'm going out of camera here, but I'm working in a limited space. So we're almost done with this side. I'm going to show you guys how to get in between the letters. Girls, how are we looking on time right now?
You're good. You still have about 4 minutes. It's okay if we go over a little bit, if everyone wants to stick around for the attachment of the lights.
Okay, awesome. How's everybody looking then? Are y'all good? Y'all want to see more? So let us know in the chat, because if we need to, I can cut this little part short, but I'm going to try to complete it.
We got a good yes in the...
A good yes, good deal.
Yes, more
some
please.
of the stuff, go ahead, Jen.
Nicole S. asked, could you have painted the wood black first, then paint the red letters, or can you not paint over black?
Painting over black is really hard. I wouldn't recommend it. because like this right here, where I messed up right here, got over, that's going to be hard to cover up with red. I'm going to have to sand that, then come back over. Now I want to show you guys while we're here, you see the edge of where we are at. I'm going to go along just the edge, just like this. Oh, good job, Joseph. He's tracking with me on the camera. We're going to go just like this. If we get black paint down in there, that's all right. I got a little smudge right there. We can go back with the Dremel tool and get that out, or a piece of sandpaper. So we're going to go ahead and get the rest of this right here and just take it on down. Just like this. Make sure you smooth out where you have all your paint at. Just like this. And some of this you will not be able to paint with a grain of wood, which you see what I did there? My mistake. I'll remove that later with the Dremel tool.
And for those of you who are interested, I'm going to drop his YouTube page in the comments so you can take a look after the class. Nicole S. is wondering, could you use a foam brush or are paint brushes better?
Oh yeah, you could use a foam brush for this, but for this type of wood, it really soaks in the paint a lot. And I like the amount of paint that I can get on a paintbrush. I mean, the foam brush would hold paint too, but I'm more of a fan of paint brushes. You know, I just feel more comfortable with them. I feel like I have more dexterity with them. Like when I'm working with them and stuff, I have more control over them.
And Chris wants to know, how would you correct it with a Dremel? I assume he's referring to the paint. And what accessory would you use to correct it?
The same accessory. After this dries, I'm going to come back in here to this V and it's going to be fixed. Yeah.
And
you cover up mistakes with finer mistakes.
And Pamela's wondering, which would you consider as the best wood to engrave?
Basswood. Basswood and poplar wood is really good, but most people use balsa and basswood. That's the softest woods. You'll find a lot of chip carvers with the carving knives that use that. When I'm here at my V, watch what I'm doing. I'm just kind of taking my brush and fanning it out here.
Are there any other materials besides wood that you like to carve on?
I have carved skull before, deer skulls. That's really good. You do have to have a good respirator for that because bone dust is very toxic. I haven't tried it yet, but you know, people carve fruit. They have literally carved fruit with their Dremel tool before. It's really cool. I have carved different parts of, I think I carved some plastic before. Plastic's really hard to engrave because it melts on you, but a lot of 3D printers. Joseph, that's running my channel, or running the live stream right now, I'm a tech guy. He has a YouTube channel where he 3D prints. And I haven't tried any carving on the 3D prints, but that's something I do want to do. I've saw some people do that before, you know. So, you know, you can basically carve anything. I do like carving, and then when you get to metal, the technical word is engraving metal, where you engrave it. So you don't carve metal, you engrave it. So, and with a Dremel rotary tool, and this is the awesome thing about having a Dremel. Back in the old days, all they had was knives, carving chisels. Now, here's where a lot of people get confused at. Why would you use a Dremel over a carving knife or a carving knife over a Dremel tool? Dremels cut away, knives slice away. So with a Dremel tool, you are going to have little pieces of mess like this just because that's the way the tool is designed. So when you do carve with a Dremel, there is always a Dremel can outperform a knife in certain aspects, and other aspects it may be better to use a knife. But with a Dremel tool, you can have a lot of creativity because these hard hickory handles I carve for my axes, I can't do that with a carving knife. It does not work out. I need a powerful tool to do that with. And that's why I use Dremel rotary tools. And there's few other brands I do use sometimes, depending on what I'm doing. But you can just use it and pretty much on anything. I started off carving letters. What I showed you guys today was one of my things I shared earlier on YouTube of sharing my trade secret, because there is really not anyone else on YouTube carving letters that I found. And I spent, oh my gosh, I'll dare even say hundreds of hours trying to find. I went across every forum on the internet. I went through every YouTube video that I could find, and I could find very to little none at all, which I just made a big mistake, which is all right. I couldn't find any videos about how to carve letters with a Dremel tool. And so that was the video, like I said earlier, that really launched my channel, because Dremel tools are more than just, you can be so creative with them, you know? So that's one thing I do really like about Dremels.
You spoke a little bit about knives. That's one of the my favorite projects of yours. Could you talk a little bit about the knife engravings that you've done on metal?
Oh yeah, the knife engravings on metal. I've done a few engravings on knives. I've mainly done Joseph's. I think I sold them all, Joseph. Yeah, that I've done on metal. Metal's a little bit harder to engrave, but I've done a lot of quite a few engravings on axe heads, which when you work with metal, it's best to be outside, and you can when you carve metal, it's best to go like how I told you earlier. I was going to the left and right. Usually when I'm engraving metal, I usually go to the right and carve against it.
Is that one?
Yeah, that's not one. Yeah, that's. But yeah, Dremel tools are able to engrave metal. I engraved some necklaces before that was brass. That was really cool before. And we are almost done here, guys. I'm going to hurry this last part up because we have to get to the lights here. So we're going to run a little bit over time, but this is a pretty big project. So Jen, you have any more questions?
Let's see. Keep the questions coming and I'll shout them out to Matt.
Yeah, and I thank y'all for hanging out with me today. I know part of this project does take time and stuff, and I hope you guys are learning a lot from it, you know. And I will tell you guys, be creative. I do sell my artwork. A lot of people ask me how I sell, and you know, it can be a weird thing to sell artwork because you know, after you made something, people don't know how to price. And I'll tell you this: if you need to know how to price, I do have a YouTube channel. 5 tips to selling your wood carvings. This does apply to other mediums of art. I go through my 5 tips from doing this for the past 5 years, what I've learned, the mistakes I've made, and basically how to do it. So one thing that I was scared of was I was really afraid to do it. I was afraid of it wouldn't be good enough because, you know, I want things to look the best they can. And that's a part of all artistry that we have to get over, is the fear of what people think. And better yet, the pressure that we put on ourselves. You know, there is skill development involved. But for the most part, after you develop those skills and you really start owning in and learning how to craft and really become an expert in your field, people start noticing. And if you don't sell, you're robbing the world of your gift. Don't rob the world of your gift, what God's put inside of you, you know, or, you know, of what you naturally have. So that's just part of it. So anyway, I didn't mean to go off on that tangent, but you have any more questions here, Jen?
Chris asked, do you do any airbrushing to paint, or do you always paint by hand?
Oh man, Joseph is laughing at me. If you can hear him over there, he's laughing at me. I bought an airbrush and a tank compressor, and I haven't even tried it yet. I was going to make a YouTube video over it, but I just hadn't pulled it out of the box yet. So, but yes, I do want to paintbrush. Airbrush. If we were to airbrush this, oh my gosh, we could make this thing look like $1 million. So there are advantages to using an airbrush. And I did buy my supplies from Amazon. And I think Michael's they have some airbrushes too, if I'm not mistaken, that you can check out. So we're almost done here, guys. I'm trying to hurry it along. This is just meticulous work right here.
Have you ever done any glass engraving?
One time, and I plan to do some more. I just haven't done it yet. But yes, a glass is pretty easy because you're just basically scratching the outside surface. You're not engraving down, carving in like we did here. It's a little, to me, I find it a little bit easier. So you want to take your template and put it on the inside of your glass. and tape it on the inside. That way you can sit on the outside and just start, engraving it. I do have some friends I will plug. He does Yeti engravings. Hey, Joseph, go to the front camera right quick. This is a tumbler that he engraved for me. It has my logo, and it's my 100,000 YouTube subscribers. So you put a little Viking artwork, then 100,000 at the top. And this is all done on a tumbler. And his name is Max Triato Custom Engraving. And if you guys follow my YouTube, you've probably seen me shout him out before. But this dude is super talented, and he will show you how to work on metal. So if you guys give me about 3 minutes here, I'm going to wrap this up, and we are about to get to the lights. So, Joseph, if you could.
Got a couple more questions.
Yeah, go ahead. And Joseph, you can leave it on that camera view. Can you get the lights out for me?
We've got a question from Nicole. Do you have to have a steady hand to engrave?
Steady hands are developed. They happen over time. 1 second.
Oh, your pinky.
Oh yeah. Steady hands are developed, and I will tell you this. And Joseph just reminded me it's a little different on the Dremel Lite, but I put my pinky down. Did you see what I just did? Oh my gosh, this is the best live class ever, and I made it even worse. Oh man, so use your pinky. Let me get over here. This is hilarious. Oh my gosh. So use your pinky to get I don't say articulation is the right word, but to get the dexterity and the control that you need with your pinky while you're engraving. So no, I've seen some very talented people that's like this, and when they start engraving, it's just amazing. And I'm not the steadiest hand in the world, but it's a skill that's developed. You will, you gain muscle memory. There is muscle memory involved in this. So we are almost done, and I have plenty of corrections to make after this.
We've got another question from Masha. She said, do you have any tips on how to prevent sun, wind, and rain from bleaching any burned areas? They also said, referencing your wood burns on your other works, they've had trouble with that before. Okay.
Jen, on the first part of that question, what kind of, did you say sun rays? What did you say? I'm sorry. From protecting it?
Do you have any tips on how to prevent the sun, wind, or rain from bleaching any of your burned areas when you're working with wood burning?
Yeah, in real time, or like after you've done it? Because I know sometimes when you wood burn it, other parts of the wood begin to burn. Do you mean after you're through with your carving?
After, from like the nature. Yeah.
Oh, got you. Okay. Thank you. I got a little confused. Yes, you need to seal it. Seal it with something. A lot of people, I use polyurethane for most of my sealings and stuff when I seal something. But there's stuff like shellac, lacquer, and with a lot of people, it depends on if you have a lot of wood burnings. I don't recommend putting it outside, but a lot of people use different types of clear lacquer fixative and stuff, and they will put across, which I do recommend putting across your wood burnings. So I did work with a razor tip on a project that will be out sometime this year. I did a project for them, and I sent it to them. They wanted to get it from me, so I put some fixative over it, just a clear, just water-based type of spray, and it worked just great. We're on the home stretch, guys. Let me finish this. I'm gonna go down here and I'll answer any more questions, and then we're gonna be through with the black paint. So I know this is taking a little bit right here, but this is a pretty big board that we're working with.
Have you ever engraved anything and then filled it with resin or epoxy?
Oh man, at one point, I can't remember what I did that time, engraved so much, but recently, no. I do want to do some epoxy pour, filling with epoxy pour. That has been on my project list for a long time. It's just a matter, I will be vulnerable with you guys. I like procrastinating. So I have not yet, but I do plan to. That is something right now that's really big, epoxy pouring. And people are, and I will tell you this, if you are looking for this as a paid hobby or something you get into, a lot of people are really digging the epoxy pour stuff right now. They're paying some good money. Joseph, on the shelf over there, get them the epoxy poured business card holder, if you would. It's right here on this side. I'm going to show you guys what my friend did. I had a lot of creative friends. You guys are going to really like this because he didn't engrave any of this, but he's doing some woodworking. So come over in front of the camera and show them this. You're fine. This is Joseph, everybody. I don't know if he's been on camera yet. But yeah, get it where they can see that right there. That's all epoxy poured into, I forgot what he told me that was some type of oak on there. But yeah, it's really cool. So I would love to engrave something like that and do that. Yeah, his name's Rodney from Risen Resin. So some pretty cool stuff there. We're supposed to collab on some epoxy pour stuff that we haven't done yet. So that is something I am interested in. And we are on the home stretch, guys. We are almost done. And Joseph, I will need you here in just a second. I'm going to have a big paintbrush and guys, I do want this to be a little bit better. If I had more time, I'd make this a lot better. I'd cover up a lot of mistakes, but I do want to show you a few mistakes that I made and how to correct them before we move on, because a lot of people get hung up on that. So if I were to, I left a little bit of an edge here. I'm not going to go over this again, but I could go along just like this. Actually, this is going really fast. You see I'm doing this edge? And I'm just edging right up against here, just getting a straight edge. Now here's a tip. Here's a tip. Like right here, you could always get a permanent marker and go right over the edge if you need to in some areas. So I'm going to go ahead and let me get this area just like this. And that right there is going to be good. I'm going to leave that like it is because we're running short on time. And Joseph, I'm going to hand this to you. When you're working in a live environment like this on a live stream, there's a lot of dynamics going out. So I'm going to hand you this and the cap to this. So now I'm going to show you how to correct a mistake now. So after Joseph puts that up, he is going to go to the top-down view with the camera. Thank you. I'm going to have to wipe my hands. So now, could be better, but we're going to fix everything. I'll show you how to do that right quick. So I'm going to just take some extra painted areas. You don't really need to do this, but I'm going to try to clean just a few things up. So now we're going to take our Dremel tool. You see this eye where that is right there? Got some paint in there. Now watch this. I'm just going to take this. You would want your paint to be dry. So just letting you know, my paint's not completely dry. So make sure that your paint is dry on here. You want to go in here. Make sure that everything is on. Go in here. Look there. Boom. Now go right up here. I do need to paint that in just a little bit more. We're going to go to the E right here. Go right here. Now, I go around here right quick. Yeah, I didn't paint that in completely. So now, let me get this. Okay, now for the E right there, you see where paint's on there. Here's what we're going to have to do to correct that because of the way we did this project. I'm going to take a piece of sandpaper here. Like I said, this would normally be dry when doing this. I'm going to take it and just say.
Oh, Matt, it sounds like your sound cut out a little. There you go. He's just reconnecting there, and we'll get his sound back on in a second. Oh, dead battery. Some of the other ways you can personalize this, like you mentioned before, you could add the words movie and then night underneath it, and add like letters that you can change your movies if you plan on showing that. Or you can also add chalkboard paint instead of the black paint, so you can go in there and write every week what your movie of the night is.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good deal. Sorry, my camera died right here. So yeah, here we go. Everything is looking good. I'm gonna have to continue. I would like to correct this a little bit more, but I'm gonna show you this. Now, see all the paint I have on me? See this behind me? This is what this looks like when you take your time and you get it looking really good. Now, this is the fast rundown, just dirty way of doing things. Let me go like this. This is gonna be a little loud. 1 second. And I'm going to show you guys this. Not looking bad. Now there's some, see the paint up here? I would take this, and you know what? I just did that. See, you have to be careful. I'm getting paint everywhere. I love this. This is what happens in live studio. This isn't, on my YouTube channel, I get to cut out my mistakes. This, I don't get to cut out any mistakes because I have the same trouble when I'm doing my YouTube. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go through with my sandpaper. Now, I would paint this red again, but we're running short on time. But I'm just showing you how to get this done right here. So, yeah, we're going to move on to the lights here. So, any
Pamela's
questions?
asked, do you recommend using a hair dryer to help the paint dry faster?
On projects like this, you can, but I will tell you, Pamela, on projects like this, you can, but on the other projects, what happens, paint has to dry, but also when you get into oil-based paint, this isn't oil-based, but you have to let it cure, where everything just soaks in and sets and just really bonds with the wood. With this, it'd be all right with a hair dryer if you're pressed on time, but for the most part, you got to be careful because you're going to get splotches in your wood. Now, what we are going to do here, I am going to actually use this right here, this sign to put the lights on with a hot glue gun. But this right here is how the quick, fast and dirty way to do one of these signs. And remember, when you guys are up close, you see all the imperfections. When you're back here, this looks pretty good, right? It's a start, and this is pretty good for spending a little over an hour on. So we have to finish up this class in about 10 minutes. So we're getting a glue gun plugged in. We got our glue stick in here, and we are going to apply the lights. So if you give us about 1 minute intermission, I got to clean this up just a tad bit, clear off my desk, and I need to wash my hands. So Joseph is going to come around here and clean everything up, and Jen is going to take some questions before we start.
Let us know if you got any additional questions, especially about the products and any of the carving, engraving. I myself really like to glass engrave. I think it is more similar to drawing. When you're engraving in wood, it has a little bit of a bounce back, but the glass doesn't because you're not digging into the material, you're just scratching the surface. Yeah, I'm glad that y'all are enjoying it, and his YouTube videos are really thorough. He goes into depth about all the carving techniques, and I believe he just released an ebook as well about how to get started with the basic techniques. So we can also send you the link for his ebook too. It's really good and has all the tips and techniques written down.
Oh yeah, I have a new the ebook coming out that's almost ready to release, and I have an extra project idea guide that I am releasing. It shows you a really in-depth way of how to come up with any project and how to put your own creativity on it. It's been a year in the making. I'm almost done with that extra one. I hadn't even told you about that one, Jen. While he is getting that set up, I'm going to show you a few things I'm working on. Here's a handle here that I carved this and I wood burned it. So this is going to a soldier right here. So this is part of the letter carvings that I do on the hickory. And here's another one that I finish up. I'm going to wrap this with some letter, but you can kind of see the Viking designs. I carved this and put the designs and everything on here. Joseph's almost done there, so we're going to move on shortly. So, but this is my stuff that I like carving right here. You have to find your own medium what makes you come alive. Mine is axe handles. I love it. Some of you guys may want to do signs. This may be your thing. We're going to attach these lights in just a second. No, you're good. I'm not rushing you. He's getting them ready for us. Your thing may be signs. It may be flower vases. You can get some pottery and engrave some type of the eco. I'm trying to remember the name. I have some up here about 2 years ago that I haven't even carved yet. It may be something like that. So it may be planter hangers or something that you hang plants on. So just use your creativity, and that guide shows you a lot of things like that that I'm about ready to release. So I'm going to get this other sign here, and there we go. Now let me put 2 and 2 together. I don't know if I need to cut this one again, but here we go. It's not that bad. We can take our time and do a little bit more, but that's how they look side to side. The bottom one is the one that I took a little bit more time on. So we're going to put this right here. And Joseph is over there going to grab something else. Now we have our lights here. Now you can pick up your, you have for the box. The box. That's all good. Our box is somewhere. I was going to show you what I got, but here it is. I got this at Michael's. This is the 30 count string lights. Now, if you look at your original landing page that you landed on at michaels.com, it shows a different type of lights, but this is the one I chose right here. It has a smaller bulbs. So we are going to play the hot glue gun, and let's hope I don't burn myself with this. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. Paint. Let me wipe this up right quick.
And Chris is wondering, how do you get those details to come out, to come to life and stand out?
The details on this or on the tomahawks or on any carving?
On any carving.
On any carving. Well, I'm going to give you a twofold answer. The twofold answer is, one, I would burn, which a lot of true carvers don't like doing. I put false shadows in my wood carvings. I'm giving you some advanced stuff here. I put false shadows into my wood carvings with wood burning. That way it makes it come out. Now, a lot of the amazing wood carvings that you see, it's this. Is that you got that on?
Where's the sticks?
I already got a stick in there.
I've already pushed it almost all the way out. Nothing's coming out yet.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's.
Is that little thing supposed to be on?
Yeah. No, it's gonna be hot. We'll fix it in a second. So anyway, I'm sorry. So yes, a lot of wood carvings have you turn it at a certain angle and it catches light. Like I have a big light right here, and it's more shadowy right here. And wood carvers catch that angle, and that's the secret to making it look like it has depth and dimension. Sometimes it's not what you do, it's the way you look at it. So these pictures you're looking at is all in the camera. They're making it look amazing. So it's the way you take your pictures too. I didn't understand that for the longest time. So what we're going to do here, we have our lights here. We're going to get started. And we have a battery operated controller that when we press this, the lights come on. So how awesome is this? We're going to glue this across here. Now, our glue gun, we're getting it set up right now.
Maybe it just needs more.
Yeah, just, yeah.
More sticks in there.
Let me see some. We have to give us one moment. We are getting this glue gun on here. Yeah, we already had a glue stick in there. So just one moment. Jen, why don't you take another question while we're waiting here?
Sure thing.
What'd you do with all the sticks?
The sticks is right here. Let me go right here. Just one moment, guys. We're getting this. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties with our glue gun. So just one moment, please.
I didn't squeeze one stick almost.
There we go. There we go.
Just on the edge.
Okay, we're ready now. We're ready. We got to get this thing ready to go. So here we go. So Joseph, I am going to have you stand over here by me. Let's put this up right here. And we're going to finish this class up, guys. I appreciate you working with us today and hanging out. I know this has been a little bit longer than we anticipated. This is what we do on live, though. So what we're going to do, let me take a drink.
They're very interested in your wood burning. So I'm going to drop a link to your how to wood burn the basics.
Oh, thank you. And I should have some more videos coming out on that soon. Okay, Joseph, come over here. Okay. Hold this right here. So we're going to get this. I'm probably, because I want to mount this behind. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take this, and realistically, I'd put a screw in the back there. We'll probably just hot a glue. Yeah. Let's go to the top down part right here, Joseph. We're going to go to a top down view. So what I'm going to do for this one, I'm going to put some hot glue on here. I'm just going to make a zigzag pattern. Just like this, and get it in the four corners. There we go. Now this is a little messy. I'm going to put it right about here. And what you want to do when you get this glue gun, you want to press down and hold it for about 10 seconds, all right? We want to press the glue down, and the glue is going to spread out, all right? And one more second, and there we go.
That's just a tester.
Yes, and this is just a tester right here when we hit power. Oh yeah, we got to get the batteries in there. Yeah, we'll do that in a little bit. So anyway, we're going to spread this out right here. And Joseph, while I am going to use this cardboard right here, I'm going to put it underneath here. We're going to do this a little bit differently. Let's show Joseph some love. I couldn't do this without him today. So
He's got some fans of his shirt in the comments. They love the Baby Yoda.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, that's one of our favorite shows. So Jen, how would you say this? Do I want to glue the wire or do I want to glue the bulb?
You want to make sure that you're not gluing the glass onto there because the glass will heat a little bit when the lights are on. So you want to stay away from it. But if you can use the base of the glass where it's connecting to the actual wire there, that's probably the best.
Okay, you have the base. Okay, Joseph, let's switch to the front camera and I'm going to have you come help me. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to flip this up. I'm going to have him hold it. And let's make sure all the paint's off my hands. So what we're going to do, we're going to take our glue gun. We inserted the glue stick and we squeezed it with a trigger. This is on, so I have to be very careful. So I squeezed the glue part back in there. So what we're going to do now, since these are, one second, a part of some glue right there. It's all good. So what we want to do is I'm going to take the wires right here. I'm going to take where the globe is right here. You guys see this part is right there. I have to glue that in. So I'm going to glue the wire a little bit too, but I need to really focus on gluing this bulb right here. So I'm going to do the base of the bulb because I don't want to, glue the complete glass, but we're going to, that's there. Oh yeah, this is going to go by pretty fast.
This is definitely a project you can do with the whole family, but we do suggest when you're using the glue gun or using the rotary tools that the parents are using that rather than any children. We just want to make sure everyone's staying as safe as possible because the rotary tool does have the chance to slip out of your hand if the little ones don't have a good grip on it. And same thing with the glue gun since it does have the heating component to it.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. And this is a lot easier with two people, like I'm holding this. And what I'm doing, I'm trying to get this to hold on there. Joseph, go ahead and hold that. I'm going to have to hold these on here a little bit longer, but what I'm doing, I'm just going through and just gluing each part of this glass right here. So I'm making sure these are down pretty good. This one I didn't get enough glue on, so I'm going to take it, put some fresh glue on there. And this is just at the base of where the wire is going in. This isn't on the glass. So I'm going to go through here. I'm going to go through the whole thing. I'm going to do some of the wire as well on top of it. This will help keep everything in place. We're just going to go through here. Just like this. Okay, Joseph, other side. Okay. Almost done here. This is going pretty fast. And depending on the wire that you have, this is wanting to bend up, so I'm having to hold the glass a little bit when I do this. So there we go. So what I'm doing here, I'm just putting a bead of glue, and then I'm holding it with this plastic piece.
And you're laying them down, right? The bulbs, or are they standing up?
The bulbs are laying flat against, that way the bulbs are pointing out that way.
Okay.
almost like a beauty mirror. You know, have you ever seen a beauty mirror like for makeup and stuff, where the bulbs point out that way?
Mhm.
You see that? But this is on the back base of it, though. It's not on the actual glass. It's on the base. So we are almost done here, guys. I appreciate y'all hanging out while we get everything worked out here.
It's looking great.
Thank you. Thank you. Joseph, hit that light right quick.
Ooh,
That is awesome. Oh my gosh, yeah.
nice.
And what I love, guys, you can take this and you can give these as gifts to people. You can take these to Christmas parties, to birthday parties, put someone's name on this, and they're going to be like, oh my gosh, it's something handmade. And that's something, a feeling that when you sell your handmade products or you give them away, I love giving stuff away. I'll just tell you, most of my art, a lot of people ask me, Matt, how do I sell and do stuff that you're doing and sell art, which I don't talk about just a whole lot, but I started giving it away. And they say, the old saying goes, you give your gift away for free for a long time. So that's what I did. And I just got more joy from giving. A lot of these things I just give away, and I have more joy from giving than I do making money on it, you know? And it's just something that after you start making these and give them away, it kind of turns into something, you know? So, okay, Joseph, how do you want to do this?
Flip it. Or
Okay, we're gonna flip it, put this down here. And for this part, stay right there, Joseph. I'm going to take the camera and I am going to push this up just a tad bit, all right? Okay. Can you, yeah, that's a little bit better. So we're going to get in the frame here and go ahead and put the camera up a little bit more, Joseph. Then come back around here. I want them to see this. Oh yeah, there we go. So there we go. You can come back around here. So we're going to hold this. See the bead right there? I'm going to take this and drop in some glue on my mat here. I'm going to put a bead right there. And I'm going to stick it up just like this. I'm going to hold it for a second and let it dry. I'm going to continue the same thing right here. Now I want to match the consistency of my bulb spacing. So I may have got this a little close right here, but that's all right. I'm going to try to keep each bulb at the same amount of spacing just by eyeballing it. So I'm just taking the glue gun, put some glue on there on the base of it. I'm going to, right there. Need a little bit more. Just be very careful while you use this glue gun. I need a little bit more because I stuck it on there and I pulled it off. Okay, that should do it. I'll hold that there. Well, I'm having a contrary bulb. It's all right. I may just have to skip this one. There we go. There we go. Let's be careful and untangle these. I'm going to do the same thing.
And yes, Jasmine, the video will be posted afterwards. I believe it'll be available on Michael's about 24 hours from now.
Yeah, you guys have been awesome hanging with us. I know we've been on this video for a while now, but hopefully you'll be able to go back and watch a lot of this. And one thing about these videos, you can watch them over. And anytime you watch something over again, your awareness just goes up and you'll catch things you didn't catch before. So that's one of the great things about it. So we're nearing the bottom here. We're almost done, guys. We're almost there. I think I skipped a bulb.
For those of you who are interested, the tool he was using today was the Dremel 7760. It's also known as the Dremel Lite. It is a rechargeable one, so you don't have to worry about having a cord. Thank you, Joseph. He's holding it up. This one we suggest a lot for lighter powered crafting, so perfect for signs like the one he's shown today. But if you want to do a lot more power carving, we suggest one of our corded models like the 3000. That one just has a higher powered motor and it can go really into that harder material. And stuff like cutting and routing, it's better for using one of the plugged in versions, the corded ones. And then,
Okay, guys, we're going to switch the camera angle here. We're almost through. We're on the home stretch.
and Thao, I saw your question. If the lights are too long, do not cut the lights. That will unfortunately make them not work. So if you have any extra lighting, just go ahead and tuck it in the back.
Yeah, we're going to show you how to do that too. So my lot spacing is not perfect. It's a little close on the end, but it's all right. So I have a little bit longer lights. So let me get around here. So watch this. I have a little bit more lights than I need. So I'm going to take these extra, it looks like I have 3, and I'm just going to glue them on the back here. All right. I don't want to cut them off or anything, but I'm going to glue them on the back there. Okay, let's put this down right here. And guys, we have about 5 more lights and we're done. This is going by now. I think the painting was the longest part of it, that and the carving. Oh, yeah. So.
Yes, the 43,000 is compatible. That one is one of our higher powered models. So you can actually take the nose cap off of it, which is the little piece on the top, and then you can attach the flex shaft. You can use the router table or the plunge router to it. Our 43,000 is one of our most versatile rotary tools that we've got out there. So you can use it with almost every single one of our attachments. The 3000 is available at Michael's. And then you can also go to Dremel.com or shop.dremel.com to find out where the specific models are available near you. And then you'll be able to find them at most hardware stores.
Okay, guys, let's turn this around. Here's what we have. Yeah, it's a little hard to, yeah. So on the back of it, this is the last bulb right here. Let me hold this up. I know there's a lot of wires in the way. This is the last bulb I'm pointing at, okay? So I'm going to take this. I'm going to have to, just going to put that around there for right now. So what I'm going to do to offset this, just for this project, I'm going to go right up here at the top, because if I put too far down at the bottom, it's just going to be a little awkward. I'm just going to put it right here at the top. That way, if we put this somewhere, these lights are going to kind of blend in together, if that makes sense. These lights on the back are going to blend in with the ones from the front. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right there and get the bottom part of this. I'm keeping it off the glass. I just want it on the bottom part. All right, now we're going to take this, do the same thing, and this is coming together now. Get some glue on the top and hold it. Okay. Yeah, put a little bit more on this one. Some of these like to stick a little bit more than the other ones. Yeah, Joseph's trying to. Are you all right? What are you doing? Oh, that's okay. Well, that was okay. Here we go. Okay, I globbed some glue in there.
It's a B.
It's all right. B. That's weird. Okay, now there we go. Okay, let me get this hot glue gun out of the way, and let's put that at the camera. And are you ready? 1 second. Let me make sure. Let's get that glue gun out of the way. There we go. Now, we do not have the time to do this, but like I said, go through here, hot glue your wires down, all right? Your wires, just put a little dab in each part. And Joseph's going to hit it. 1 second. Let me. Oh, yeah. There we go. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Knock all the extra dust off of it. And there it is. So, doesn't that look fantastic? Now you could take this and put it somewhere. And I know some people would like the bigger bulbs than this, and that is all right. I might would have preferred the bigger bulbs, but this one works just fine. You can take this and put it up somewhere. So guys, there you go. You go from here, and once you put the bulbs on, there you go. So there it is, guys. I am so excited that you hung out with me today, and I'm going to have to glue that bulb back on. I'm so excited that you hung out with me today and spent this time with me. And more importantly, I hope you learned a lot from everything that was taught here. I certainly did. And I always tell people we learn together. We learn together. And I'm glad you got to see the mistakes that I made, because you can't escape those mistakes. You know, they're going to be there. So they're just opportunities. Mistakes are opportunities to do something better. And oftentimes your mistakes will show you a better way to do something. So anyway, guys, I appreciate you being here. It has been an honor and to hang out with you and teach you. So Jen, I'm going to pass it off to you. Oh, and thank you, Joseph, by the way. Everybody give Joseph, like in your chat comments, say thank you, Joseph. So like, yeah, a little round of applause in the chat room.
Awesome. Yeah, this, like we said before, this recording will be available in 24 hours on michaels.com. Also definitely recommend checking out Matt's page, Cornelius Creations. I dropped the link in the chat, and he's got a bunch of great YouTube videos that can get you those specific questions for carving techniques or the materials that you guys are interested in. And for those of you wondering about the Dremel tools, feel free to check out dremel.com. And you can find a retailer near you, and you can also learn more about the different types of tools and which is best suited for your projects. Thanks again, Matt. This was awesome.
Thank you. And one more thing, Jen, also, if any of you are interested, we do have a website, howtowoodcarve.com. So you guys go join over there. I do have a lot of Dremel stuff over there, how to use the Dremel, and it's a little bit more goes a little bit more in depth than I do sometimes on my YouTube videos. It's just a different type of teaching on there with blog posts. So you guys go join. It's completely free. And we always talk about Dremels on there and Dremel tools and how to carve. So you guys be sure to go join. And that is howtowoodcarve.com.
And I dropped that link in the chat for y'all if you want to take a look at that. Awesome. All of these Dremel, the 3000, the 7760, which is the tool he used today, and the Stylo Plus, which is my personal favorite for glass engraving. If you want to start out on a beginner tool, I definitely recommend that one. Those are all available at Michaels. I think it's in the wood carving and the burning area. And there's also a bunch of practice wood for you to check out. Thank you again, Matt. This was awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. So look at that. Look how cool that looks. That's awesome.
Nice.
So,
woo!
Appreciate you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me today.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.